This is an extract from the Leader Coronavirus Daily podcast by the Evening Standard and hosted by me, David Marsland. To hear the whole thing, search for it on your podcast provider. Labour's new leader, Sir Keir Starmer, has laid down his first gauntlet for the government, a lockdown exit strategy by the end of the week. He's written to Dominic Raab in Boris Johnson's absence, saying the UK needs to know what's next. Government sources say talk of an exit strategy this soon risks confusing the message that people need to stay at home. But our editorial column says Sir Keir's making an interesting move.
The Labour leader's decision is a sharp attack on the government. So why's he done it? If he's after political advantage, he's made a mistake. Polls suggest that the government is currently one of the most popular ever. There's huge sympathy for the Prime Minister as he recovers. When Sir Keir says we need to see light at the end of the tunnel, he's wrong. Simply offering hope that we are reaching the end of lockdown when we don't know if we are isn't the same as the transparency and openness he says we need. This week, almost no one will question the decision to extend the lockdown. But as time passes, the questions will become more challenging. Sir Keir has an eye not just to where politics is now, but where it might be in 3 months' time and in 3 years. This government is about to find out what it is like to face a serious opposition.
So don't get your hopes up expecting a lockdown lift-up in the UK anytime soon, but it is happening elsewhere. This morning, Denmark reopened classrooms for children under 11 who have been stuck in their homes for a month. The country was one of the first in Europe to impose restrictions and has one of the lowest infection rates on the continent. Ida Wentzel is an associate professor from Aarhus University and has been researching how families are coping during the pandemic. She joins me over Zoom. And Ida, let's start with going back to school. How's that going down?
Depends of who they are. Some families have sent the kids to school today and also to kindergarten. The families, some of them talks a lot about that they are afraid. Do the schools have control enough? Is it safe enough? All this kind of discussion is going on. And some families, they feel okay with that. They think it's okay. And the schools, and especially the schools, it seems that they have control over it. In kindergartens, the parents to younger kids, I think they're a little bit more afraid. So it's difficult for many parents to accept that that's just how it is.
Do they feel that this is happening too soon, or is it more about not having enough information?
All of them until now have said that they're not afraid from themselves. They don't feel that their family is in risk. So they take care of all this kind of stuff just to take care of other people. So they say to us or tells us that they're not afraid of sending their kids to school, and should they get the coronavirus, they're not in the risk group. So that's okay. But of course, no one knows how safe it is. No one knows if it's the right way to do it. No one. So that way, we're all in a kind of experiment.
Is there a difference in attitudes between the children themselves and their parents?
It also depends on who the kids are and how old they are. And the other day I talked to a family. They have 4 kids between 5 and 15. And the youngest one, they were really looking for going back to school. One of them was in first grade, grade 0, and she was just looking for getting back to her friends. The older one, they were a little bit more laid back with that because they have contact on computers. They talk to their friends in that way. So for the elderly children or young people, it's more okay. They can also, some of them, perhaps take a walk with a best friend, with a good distance, of course. But the youngest one, many of them, they're really longing for kindergarten and school.
And do they understand, though, what COVID-19 coronavirus is, those younger ones?
Yeah, it shocked me how much they understand. I don't know what is understanding, but they know a lot about it. They are taking very much care. They're very much up to cleaning hands, being very careful, to use all kind of medications to clean sticks if they play with other people. So they really try to handle it in the best way. And they talk about the corona if it was something they know. And they know who have decided. The Danish Prime Minister, Mette Frederiksen, she's the one who decides. And they know that.
How long have the kids been in lockdown for in Denmark?
For a month.
That's quite a while. How has that gone in that group that you've been speaking to?
In the beginning, the first week, it was like a holiday. Everyone was, wow, away from school. But it seems that it had been more okay than they had thought before. And many families, they tell us about that they have gone into a kind of vacuum, a kind of in-between time. It's not holiday, it's not weekend, it's not everyday life, but it's something special. It's something in between that they have never tried before. They had to stay inside, and if they go out, they had to have really good reasons. They had to take care of each other. They had to play with siblings they normally don't play with. They had to use so much time together and talk with each other about all this kind of stuff, things they haven't done before. So in that way, nearly all the families, they tell us that in the micro way, the family have been very much put together in that way.
Has Denmark changed then?
Yeah, some of them tells us that this way of being together, walking tours or baking cakes or having another kind of family rhythm, they want to continue with that if it's possible after. But of course they know that everyday life will return to some kind of normally routine. But it tells me, most of them, that this has shown that how family also can be. And for some of them, this way of being a family is perhaps very attractive.
Search for the leader Coronavirus Daily on any podcast provider to hear more from the podcast.